What's going on, YouTube family? This your man Pristine, back with another video. Here before you is the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now, I do also have in-house the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and I decided to, give the pristine treatment to the Flip 7 first off, because I'm real curious about this exterior display and how it's going to compare to this guy right here. This is the new Moto Razr Ultra 2025. Got that Pantone green, you see what I'm talking about? And Motorola, they reign supreme because of this outer display on the Razr devices. This outer display right here is what sets this flip phone apart from all the other flip phone iterations out there. Why? Because this little screen literally does everything. You can access any application, you can play games, you can do a lot more on this outer display than you can on other flip phones' outer display. Mainly Samsung, right? For the past few years, Samsung has been releasing flip phones. The Z Flip, been around for a while. And one of the main indictments about the Z Flip is the outer display. And it always gets compared to the latest Razr. And the Razr always outshines it because of that outer display. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this year in 2025, okay, our Samsung decided to, switch it up and give you a full outer display. So I believe the outer display now on the Z Flip 7 is 4.1 inches, which that is a small display, but one of the main reasons, why you would want to use a phone like this is because of the capabilities that outer display has, so that you don't always have to open up the device if you don't want to. Okay, so having the ability to access pretty much everything that you would want or need to on the outer display, unless you want to, without opening up the phone, that's huge, right? That's paramount. When these phones are closed, they are very small, they are very pocketable, they're very compact. And so just having the ability, like I said, just to do pretty much anything you want to do on that outer display, if you can, stand, how small it is, I think that most folks who have these devices, can get by that. Because if you're not interested in closing the phone and using it while it's closed, then, either go with something bigger like, the Fold, or, the Pixel Fold or something like that, or just get a regular candy bar style device, right? So I feel like, if you are, in the market for these these flip phones, well, what you're able to do with them on that external display is pretty major. All right. Now, those of you that have been subscribed to my channel for a long time, I appreciate you guys. And, sorry for the long wait. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, just coming off of a little hiatus there, had some things taking place, personal life that I had to tend to, and just sometimes work, personal life, juggling, a bunch of different things. I don't always have the time for this, but now that I got a couple of things situated that was going on, now I can spend some time and attention with y'all, and I love to do it. Don't think for a second, just because I haven't uploaded content in a while, it has been like two and a half, maybe 3 months since the last time I dropped the video. You know what I'm saying? But my channel's still doing numbers. I'm still making a little money that I'm able to, put into buying these devices. Yes, I don't have any kind of manufacturer sponsorship or anything like that as of yet. So all of these devices that you see on my channel, I pay for with my own hard-earned cash. Okay, so I hope that you guys really appreciate, the content here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you're able to find something very useful. If you're wondering what differentiates my channel from the rest, because there are a lot of people that do this, whether they consider themselves a reviewer, influencer, what have you, I like to look at my channel as more of a teaching experience. Take my unboxings, for instance. My unboxings are typically over an hour long. Why? Because it's like I try to show just about everything that there is to show about the device, because if that's a device that you want to commit to, I want to make sure that you know everything that you should possibly can know about that device before you make the commitment. Now, there are timestamps down in the description. You do not have to watch this whole video in its entirety because it's more than likely going to be a long video. Okay, so what you can do, get down in the description box, you know, access the timestamps, jump around the video, get the information that's most pertinent to you, and go on about your day. Now, you know, if you're a pristine tech ride or die, you know what I'm saying, and you don't mind, you know, a long video, then hey man, get your popcorn, drink of choice, you know what I'm saying, and kick your feet on up and let's go for a ride here. And you know, as I give the Z Flip 7 the pristine treatment. All right, now let's go. Now the whole flip and fold variants here, you know, I ordered them from Samsung.com. You know, as soon as these phones went up for pre-order, you know, Samsung, you know, they offer some pretty nice promotions toward these new devices. You know, there's all kind of trade-in deals, and it's instant. Like as soon as you plug in the device that you want to trade in and its condition, you know, it's instant money off right then and there. It's not one of those things like Best Buy. If you pre-order a phone from Best Buy, but you choose to trade in the device, you have to pay full price for the device right then and there. And then when you get your device, you have to send in your trade-in, and then Best Buy will credit you, you know, either in the form, you know, they'll credit the amount of money for your trade-in back on your debit card, or maybe in some cases they send you a check or something like that. But you still end up at the time of pre-order, you have to pay full price for the device. And both of these devices went up $100. Okay. This last year was $9.99. This year is $10.99. The Fold last year was $18.99. This year is $19.99. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I would highly recommend that if you've got something to trade in, or, you know, yeah, you know, there's all kind of little promotions where you can get money shaved off. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you balling, you know, I'm somebody, you just got it to splurge. But yeah, I, you know, traded in a device or two, you know, got my, my Galaxy Watch 8 Classic as well. You know, looking forward to getting that all synced up and paired up with the rotating bezel. I actually think that this should be the Ultra, right? Why would the Ultra not have the rotating bezel? Anybody else curious about that? Somebody sound off in the comments and let me know what you think about that, right? You got the Watch 8, the Watch 8 Classic, and then the Watch 8 Ultra, but the Watch 8 Ultra does not have the rotating display. It seems to me like the Watch 8 Ultra would have all of the things that made the Samsung Watch, aside from the new design, right? I like the design, but some of the classic Samsung watches of previous years got slammed because they didn't have the rotating display. So it's a technology that they blessed us with early, and then they took it away, left us fiending like Jodeci for it, you know what I'm saying? And now, you know what I'm saying, they bring it back for the new 8 series, but for the Classic and not the Ultra. I'm like, yo, I mean, is Samsung not concerned about the Ultra sales? I mean, if the Ultra watch is the main one that they want to push, I mean, I'd want to make that one the one that has all the bells and whistles, rotating displays, and all that type of stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the software and everything is the exact same across the board, whether you get the Watch 8, the Watch 8 Classic, or the Ultra. But I'm just saying, the Ultra is called the Ultra for a reason. The Ultra is supposed to have all the things. The Ultra does not have a rotating display, so that begs the question: why would anybody want to get the Ultra? Now, everybody may not want the rotating display, the rotating bezel, but why wouldn't they? Why would you not want the rotating bezel? Things that make me go, I'm just going off on a tangent, man. Let me get back to the Flip here 7 right here, man. So straight from Samsung, fully unlocked. You know, we've got a couple of different variants. We got the 256 gig variant, which, like I said, that's going to run you $1099.99. And then we got the 512 gig variant, which is what this is, and that's going to run you $1219.99. Now, also with the pre-order bonuses, you get the storage upgrade. So my Fold 7 here is the 512 gigabyte variant. But just for pre-ordering it, you got the 512 gig variant for the price of the 256 gig variant. You see, so it was the same thing here. So, you know, for the price of the 256 gig variant of the Flip, because I did the pre-order, I got the 512 gig variant. Now, I don't believe that that promo is still going on as of now, just because these phones have been released. You know, the street release date was last Thursday. Today is what? Today is August 6th. Yes. So I believe, yeah, last Thursday was the street release date. My phones got delivered a couple of days after that. You know, some people, depending on when they pre-ordered it, you know, they got theirs like a few days before street release date. Some people got theirs on street release date. Mine came a couple of days after the street release date. And I'm just now finding time to get to these unboxings. So, a little late in the game, but hey, better late than never. I know that YouTube is flooded with videos on both of these devices, but like I said, I chose the Flip 7 just because I'm more so concerned or just not necessarily concerned, but curious to know, this Flip 7, you know, they're also running the Exynos processor in this one, the 2500, you know what I'm saying, rather than the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Thought that was pretty interesting, looking to see how, you know, that performs as well. And then my Samsung rep, shout out to my girl Courtney down at my local Best Buy. You know, she's the Samsung rep, has been for years now. She's telling me that on this outer display, we don't have to go through all the hoops and the hoopla of going through, what's the name of it? Guys, it's right on the tip of my tongue. But you know, yeah, there's a couple of different like Samsung apps that you have to go through in order to be able to access certain pages, to give the device permission to, you know, run, you know, pretty much whatever app you want to run on the outer display on previous Z Flip devices. She's telling me that on this one, it functions just like the Razr does, and I don't know if Courtney's selling wolf tickets. You know what I'm saying? Because other videos that I've watched on this device, they're saying that clearly you still have to go through the little Samsung apps. God, I can't think of the name of it, but I'll have it here in a little bit. It's going to come to me. Yeah. So 512 gig variant here. As far as the displays, okay, let me give you guys a quick spec rundown real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into the unboxing experience. 4.1 inch 1040 by 948 Super AMOLED 120 hertz exterior display. Now we've got 1600 nits of outdoor peak brightness. Now the inner display, when you open up the device, 6.9 inch 2520 by 1080p Full HD plus dynamic AMOLED 2x display with 120 hertz refresh rate. This is an Infinity Flex display. That's what they're calling the plastic. I believe it's just a polymer of folding plastic, if you will, material. This gets 2600 nits of outdoor peak brightness. We've got a PPI pixel density of 397. Again, plastic front. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the back. This device is aluminum free, according to Samsung. And that is going to be the overall makeup and construction of the device, front and back, side to side, you know what I'm saying, and all that jazz. All right, now the internal, the guts. You see what I'm saying? We got the Exynos 2500 SoC chip. Like I said, they decided not, for whatever reason, to go with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, which is the flagship chip of 2025. We've got a deca-core CPU, 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, Android 16 running with One UI, 8 running on top. Samsung is claiming this device has up to 7 years of major Android updates. And then the GPU, we've got an Xclipse 950 GPU. So Samsung, you know, doing some different things, you know, with the internals on the Flip 7 here. So, you know, compared to the Razr Ultra here, you know, we've got the Snapdragon 8 Elite in the Ultra here, in the Razr Ultra. So I'm, you know, also looking to, you know, compare these devices to see, you know, how this Exynos chip stacks up against the flagship top dog of 2025. All right, now cameras on the rear, we've got 2 lenses, we've got a 50 megapixel wide sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor with up to 10 time digital zoom. And then we've got a front selfie camera when the device is open, 10 megapixels. We do have some of the features of the main cameras, 2-time optical quality zoom, PDAF, optical image stabilization, LED flash, HDR, panorama, digital zoom up to 10 times, 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS, 1080p recording at 60, 120 or 240 FPS, and then 720p recording at 960 FPS, also featuring HDR10 plus. Now on the front camera, that 10 megapixel sensor, we do have 4K recording at 30 or 60 FPS, also featuring HDR and 1080p recording at 30 or 60 FPS as well. Now the battery life, we've got a non-removable 4300 milliamp hour battery, okay? 25 watt wired charging. We've got Qi charging 2.0. Samsung is claiming 50% in 30 minutes, 15% 15 watt wireless charging. We do have 4.5 reverse wireless charging. If you want to, charge your Galaxy Buds or your watch or something like that. Again, this is going to be super slow, but better than nothing, if your earbuds or your watch are dying. But it's not one of those that reverse wireless charging is not something that's just going to top your device up, just like that. It'll take a while to top something off, and you'll more than likely end up frying the battery on the actual device itself, trying to fully charge something else with reverse wireless charging. So just be mindful of that. You do have the technology there, but that's just mainly if you're in a pinch. It's not the solution. All right. So if you're a power user and you're going to be running out of juice, then, you may want to keep a power bank with you, or just keep the charger with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the box, I mean, the charger does not come in the box. I mean, so separately, you can get the fast charger, 25 watts. I've got a couple of them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, I ain't worried about it. But I'm just saying, everybody doesn't have, those things. I mean, so those are some additional costs that you may have to bear if you're looking to take advantage of, fast charging or even fast wireless charging. Samsung does sell fast wireless chargers, but again, those two do not come with, this. Now, I got a problem with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because after you spend $1,100, you know what I'm saying? I mean, depending on where you are, you know what I'm saying, $1,150, you know what I'm saying, maybe even $1,200, depending on the cost of tax where you live, which I live in Seattle, Washington. Tax is like 10.5%. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you spend your $1,100 plus that 10.5, you know what I'm saying? I mean, cases, chargers, man, all that should be inclusive. All that should be inclusive, man. I think it's insane that it's not. You've already paid so much for the device itself, but then have to turn around and pay for accessories. I'll never advocate for that. I can never be an advocate for that. And it seems like as time goes on, more OEMs and companies are doing the same thing, taking more things out of the box, but yet they're charging more money. Makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. Price gouging at its finest. But it is what it is. You got to pay to play, so they say. All right. So, yes, USB Type-C 3.2 OTG, which stands for on the go. And the colors, you can get this device in shadow blue, jet black, this is jet black. You know what I'm saying? All black, everything, no racist. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Y'all know? All black, everything. No racist. You know what I'm saying? So don't nobody get down in my comments talking that nonsense. Oh, man, Pristine, you're a racist, man. What do you mean all black everything, man? That's racial. That's racial, man. You're racist. No, it's just my preference. Red's my favorite color. Red and black is my favorite color combination. Black phones just tend to go a little bit harder in the paint as far as how they look, in my personal opinion. So usually I will go with a black color, especially if I don't like all the other colors, and I can't say that I'm a fan of the rest of the colors. Okay, shadow blue, it's all right, but blue's not my color. You know what I'm saying? Jet black, yeah, like that. Coral red, that looks more like a peach, kind of pinkish, you know what I'm saying? A little feminine, you know what I'm saying? Not that anything's wrong with that, not trying to offend anybody, okay? When I say that, I'm not saying that to be insulting. Whatever floats your boat, you do you, boo. You know what I'm talking about? But that ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? And then mint, which is like a little minty green. Yeah, not feeling that. Give me the jet black all day, man. All black, everything, no racist. All right, now the dimensions. Unfolded, this device is 166.7 by 75.2 by 6.5 millimeters. Folded, this device is 85.5 by 75.2 by 13.7 millimeters. Okay, those are the dimensions. Additional features: Bluetooth 5.4, stereo speakers. We've got a 32-bit 384 kilohertz audio DAC built into the Type-C port, tuned by AKG. We've got a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. We have the circle to search, one of the many AI features on this device. We now have Samsung DeX on the flip devices. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to have Samsung DeX on previous devices, you either had to get one of the S series devices, or you had to get the Z Fold device. But now we have DeX on the flip. I'm not exactly sure why on previous iterations of the flip, or previous generations rather, that Samsung decided not to give us DeX. Kind of corny, you know what I'm saying, given that all the other flagship Samsung devices had DeX, but now we have DeX on the Flip 7. Okay, I guess, you know, people complained about that and Samsung finally listened. Okay. We've got NFC. We've got an IP rating of 48 dust and water resistance. Again, this device is fully unlocked. We've got dual nano SIMs and dual eSIM. Okay, capability. So you can have 2 physical nano SIMs, or you can have 2 eSIMs on this device. I've really been rocking with eSIM lately, mainly just because, you know, these iPhones, these later iPhones, they don't give you SIM cards. And so I've kind of gotten used to, you know, the only thing about that is I don't like this is my 16E, which this is a great device. I think one of my favorite iPhones. Full review coming for this, coming on this device pretty soon, because I know that this device got slammed, just scandalized, maligned, raked over the coal when it was released a few months back. Everybody was on Apple's head. What is Apple doing? Who does this make? Who is this device for? It makes no sense. This is the quirkiest device. This device is awesome. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, the iPhones, you know, have kind of got me hip to, you know, the whole eSIM thing. And so now that's just how I'm rocking. The only thing is I hate the fact that for whatever reason, T-Mobile, you always have to call them. You have to call customer care. And, you know, whenever you want to move your eSIM from one device to the next, I can do it on my own. I'm very capable, but they make you call them. And you have to talk to somebody and go through the whole process. And, you know, that's frustrating. You know, I know how to do it. So, but yeah, so that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the specifications. You know, that is what your hard-earned cash is going to get you. Now, again, you know, we're looking at the presentation. Again, typical Samsung presentation. You know, obviously this is the flip. You see the 2 little main camera sensors right there while the device is flipped open. You know, if you see this design on the front of the box, you know that it is a flip. Just like with the Z Fold, you see how it's folded open and you got the camera, you know, design right there. If you see this box, and obviously, you know, this box too, it's a little thicker, I mean, then, you know, the flip, I mean, yeah. So, yeah. Difference in box, but, you know, same color scheme, design. I like it. Okay. I just wish that this box was a little bit thicker, you know what I'm saying? Because that means that that charging brick is in here. All right. But to the right of the box, nothing. Top of the box, nothing. But, you know, we just got the little tab there that we can tear to open it. To the left side of the box, we got that Samsung branding. Bottom, we've just got the IMEI number, serial number, all that jazz. Back of the device, you know, you got some general information about the device. Too small to read. Not going to strain my eyes to try to do it. Yeah. So, yeah, now we'll go ahead and tear into this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Get on with this unboxing experience. It's funny, man. Y'all kill me, man. Some people, I tell people in the beginning of these videos, and even in the title header, Timestamps down below in the description. Okay. You guys just don't know how many people I get commenting in my on videos, on unboxing videos that they see of mine. Oh man, well, just go ahead and open up the device already, man. It took you 20 minutes just to get to the unboxing. I'm like, bro, did you ignore the fact that I specifically said at the title, timestamps down below in the description? You know, yeah, just because sometimes I do have a tendency to kind of ramble on, you know. But that's what those timestamps are for. If you don't want to hear me rambling, then just get down in the description, access the timestamps, and click away to what your little heart desires. So yeah, you know, all that nonsense, man. Prestige, 20 minutes before you open up the box, man. Just shut up and open the box, man. Y'all be getting disrespectful, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help y'all. Ooh. All right. So, I mean, when we pop the top, you see, ladies and gents, we are greeted with our jet black Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, it is a beauty. All right. So, just going to go ahead and peel that off of that 4.1 inch full display. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and peel this off that 6.9 inch display. It's crazy how these phones are so small when they're closed, but they get to be really big when they're open. Wow. Okay. Thin. Boxy. I like it. Premium. All right, a little heft to it. You know, you definitely you could feel the premium, the premiumness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know that's not a word, but you know, yeah, you know when something is built, you know, built tough, you know, built with premium material. I mean, this feels premium. There's nothing cheap feeling about this. Nothing rattling. No cheap little button placement. You know, when you shake the phone, you hear some of the buttons rattling. None of that. You know, you'll be surprised at how many flagships have that little rattle power button. You don't spend $1,300 on the device and you shake it and everything ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. But yeah. All right. So again, you know, 6.9 inches, corner to corner. To the right of the device, we've got an antenna line here, and here. We've got our power button here. Here's a noise canceling microphone, volume rocker, up and down. Okay, top of the device, we've got an antenna line right here, and we've got two mics right there. Can you see that? Two mic. All I need is one mic. You know what I'm saying? It took me back to my Nas days. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Nas. That's my boy, favorite rapper. It's my guy. What up, Nas? What up, Esco? You know what I mean? All right, to the left of the device, antenna line. Here's our SIM tray. Okay. Here is our 5G antenna. Another antenna line on the left side. And then on the bottom of the device, we've got two more mics, right? A mic there, antenna line, Type-C port, and then here's a speaker. We do have dual stereo speakers. One is bottom firing. The other one is going to be in the earpiece, which you could see that little slit right there at the very top of the device. Right here, that is your earpiece. And these are dual stereo speakers tuned by AKG. Now, let's go ahead and turn this device on because I know we got some juice here. Do we have some juice? Sammy. Come on, Samuel. Come on, Samuel. Look, I know this phone ain't dead. I know this joint ain't just bare bone dead. Hold up. I just held down on the power button, y'all, for like 10 seconds. I should be seeing that Samsung sign across the screen right now. Hold up. Okay, let me try this again. There we go. Okay, nice little vibration right there. Upon the phone turning on. Samsung Galaxy secured by Knox. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, now, little part of the box that the phone laid in, nothing. Okay. Now at the top, let's see. Feels a little weighty, but I know ain't nothing in here but some typical books. Okay, yeah, we got our SIM ejection tool right there. We have, just quick start guide right here. You see that Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Here is our Type-C to Type-C port, charging port, or charging cable rather. It's in there. I'm not even, yeah, it's right here. But I'm just gonna leave it in there because, like I said, I already have chargers and things, so I don't need to take that out. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the unboxing experience for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. So, I just gave you the dimensions real quick. I got my S25 right here. This is actually, one of the devices that I opted to trade in, right? Because, I got the new Flip, got the new Fold. What I need that S25 for, you know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything from my S25 over to my new Z Flip 7, and I'm gonna get back with you in a minute, baby. Yeah, y'all hold it down. All right, y'all, so I want to just jump back in real quick. As you can see, I got the devices plugged up, smart switches going on. I'm transferring everything from my S25 to my Z Flip 7. And upon setup, it takes you through all the little, disclaimers, and you got to sign in to this and sign into that. And then, it starts to, give you a little bit of a briefing as to, some of the nuances with the device. And I came across this particular section, and I believe we're like a step before actually going to the home screen. And this is just kind of giving you a briefing on all the things that are new with, Galaxy AI and so forth. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and double tap the display. You know what I'm saying? It got my favorite wallpaper there, Mr. Michael Myers himself. And we're greeted with this tips display. Now, this is Galaxy AI. Okay. Galaxy Flip. And then more new features. Now, I'll run through all of these real quickly, but I want to, especially pay close attention to Galaxy AI because, AI is not all created equal on every device. And, this September or October, Apple, they gotta play ball. They gotta come, and they gotta come hard because their rollout of Apple Intelligence had to have been one of the biggest blunders ever. And, they just significantly advertised, the 16 series. And one of the main points of emphasis was Apple Intelligence. You had commercials, you had billboards, you had all kinds of different, advertisements for Apple Intelligence. But yet the device didn't have any of that stuff. And these were all things that were going to be rolled out with various different updates at different times. And with where AI is now, or with the capabilities that other devices have utilizing AI, you would think that Apple will be right on par, but they're not. And so, I look at this Galaxy AI list, and it kind of, it's It's kind of laughable. You know what I'm saying? When you compare Galaxy AI to Apple intelligence, you know what I'm saying? It's just laughable. You know, so I just want to just, you know, spew a few of these. Actually, let's just go down the list. Okay, Galaxy AI, do more with Gemini. Press and hold the side button to talk to Gemini. What's it say? You can ask about what you see through your camera on your phone screen in real time. Gemini also lets you make complex tasks simple. Try asking Gemini to add your favorite team's next 5 games to your calendar, or to create a list of places mentioned in a YouTube video and save it in Samsung settings. Now notice there are 40 of these different tabs of Galaxy AI. Start searching instantly from anywhere. Touch and hold the home button, then circle or tap text, images, or QR codes to learn more about more and explore. You can also translate on-screen text or search for a song you're hearing or humming. Remove unwanted sounds with Audio Eraser. Audio Eraser helps you get rid of distracting noise in your videos and audio recordings. You can use it in gallery, video player, Samsung Notes, voice recorder, and phone. Options may vary depending on your device. Create unique portraits of people and pets. Transform pictures of people and pets into cartoons, paintings, and more with the Portrait Studio and Photo Editor. Listen to web page summaries. Stay informed effortlessly with the Read Highlights Aloud option in Browsing Assist. Hear highlights from articles and websites you browse, or queue up top stories from a news site's homepage for seamless listening. Use Writing Assist to help you write and edit. Type in Samsung keyboard or select text, then summarize, change the tone, check spelling and grammar, and more, or compose with just a quick suggestion or snippet. Stay up to date with Now Brief. Check the weather, your schedule, health information, and more before you start your day. You'll also get timely updates and suggestions throughout the day, personalized for you. Now Brief appears in the Now bar and can be added as a home screen widget. You can also access it from the Edge panel. Get the right options at your fingertips. AI Select offers custom options for anything you select on screen. You can use it to call numbers, find addresses, enhance images, and more. Draw new things into your images. Feel like your images is missing something? Draw it in. Photo Assist Sketch to Image features lets you draw things directly into an image. Then it transforms your drawings to make them look like realistic parts of the picture. That's dope. Unleash the artist inside you. Drawing Assist helps you transform simple sketches into works of art, create images from text descriptions, and turn photos into cartoons, paintings, and more. And like I said, there's 40 of these things. I mean, this is just number 10. This is pretty robust as far as AI features and capabilities. Yeah, it's a lot. And so, you know, where you think about, you know, where this is, or even some of the AI, you know, functionality that we have here on the Razr Ultra. And then you compare it to, you know, what Apple Intelligence is able to do, and it's just not even close. It's just not even close. And it just makes it more apparent and obvious how much of a huge blunder Apple Intelligence was. It was a scam. Because Apple, they heavily touted Apple Intelligence to make it seem as though those devices came ready, full on ready to rock and roll with Apple Intelligence. And guess what? A lot of people spent their hard-earned money in those devices thinking that they were going to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, of those functions at launch, only to find out that they had been duped. But Apple is such a major conglomerate. They're so huge. And pretty much anything that they drop, people just flock to, no matter what it is. And I don't want to, you know, slam Apple too bad, because I'm a fan of Apple products. But damn, I mean, that was a blunder for the ages. And, you know, they got some splaining to do. They got some cleaning up to do, Lucy. You know, so this 17, man, they better come hard. Or if not, they're going to lose more customers than what they did. You know what I'm saying? Because that, you know, some people was in their feelings about that whole Apple Intelligence blunder. They left Apple. They went on over to Android. You know, they went and got them a Samsung. They went and got them a Motorola, OnePlus. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, they went another direction. So, you know, I know that that's not necessarily the fate that Apple wants. So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting what they do with this 17. You know what I'm saying? And this whole AI debacle. But yeah, let me finish setting up my device here. Actually, here, let me go through some of these. Okay, so the Galaxy Flip. Okay, stay up. Okay, let me click on that. Okay, so so this is 23. Okay, so it starts at number 23. So this was all just, so there's 40 things total, including like all the flip tips and tricks and, you know, all the AI stuff. Okay. So let's see what this is talking about, right? Because the main crux of this device is this outer display, right? Okay. So stay up to date on the cover screen. Now Brief is now available on the cover screen. Get personalized information and suggested actions without the need to open your phone. Now Brief updates throughout the day, so you always get the information you need. Now, I like Now Brief. Like, I like, you know, the way that it's implemented here on the S25. You know, it is useful. You know, you can pretty much, you know, control what you want it to show, and it shows you what you need to show. Or it shows you what you need to see, like, all the time, you know what I'm saying? And it changes periodically throughout the day. It is a useful tool. You know, it kind of reminds me of the dynamic island on the iPhone. But, you know, a little different, right? It's not at the top of the phone in the camera lens, but it's on the bottom. But it's basically like the same type of function. You know, when you're listening to music, I mean, you could use it to, you know, pause or, you know, skip to the next track or previous track. You know, it gives you weather updates, score updates on your team, you know, stuff like that, like useful stuff, you know, and just right at a glance. You don't have to touch anything. I mean, it's pretty slick. So I'm looking forward to that feature here, you know, on this outer display. And yeah. Can we now switch? Okay, see all your widgets at a swipe. Swipe left and hold to show all your widgets, then tap the widget you need. All right. Stay on top of important tasks with the Now bar. Check the information you need right now and start essential features from the cover screen. Information includes media controls, interpreter, stopwatch timer, voice recorder, Samsung Health, and more. Okay. I like that. Quick info on the cover screen. Add lock screen widgets to cover screen. Tap a widget for details. Okay. More fun with emoji wallpapers. Choose your emojis and background color for the cover screen wallpaper. Then check out how the emojis move when you move your phone or tap the screen. Oh, okay. That's fun. Something cute. You know, a little functionality. All right. Translate a conversation using both screens. Open your phone and hold it between you and the other person. You'll see the translation on the main screen while the other person sees the translation on the cover screen. Now that's filthy. That's dope. When I say filthy, for those of y'all that ain't from the hood or understand, you know what I'm saying, urban lingo, when I say something's filthy, I don't mean it's dirty. I ain't talking about like it's filthy, nasty, dirty, disgusting, stinky. I'm saying, yo, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You know, that's tubular, dude. You know what I'm saying? When I say something's filthy, I mean it's cool. You know, translation is cool. When I say something's dope, translation, for those of you that ain't really hip to the lingo, when I say something is dope, that means that it's cool. That means that it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That means that it's far out, you know? You know what I'm saying? So when I say something is filthy, that means that it's awesome. It's cool. You know, it's not dirty. Like literally dirty. No, that's not what that means. You know what I'm saying? So just a quick little, you know what I'm saying, colloquialism education, if you will. You know what I'm talking about? See, y'all come to Pristine Tech, man. Y'all get a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Not a little bit of everything, but a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Now, yeah, but that's dope, right? I mean, put it between two people who speak different languages, and each screen is gonna translate. Like that's hard right there, man. That's dope. I like that. And I don't even, most people that are like other, nationalities and ethnicities, they speak English, you know what I'm saying? Or they speak good enough English to where I can understand them. I don't travel, so I don't be going places where, you know what I'm saying? I mean, English is not the first language or second language. I mean, so the likelihood that I'll have to use this is slim, but you just never know. In the event that I needed to use it, it's dope that it's there. You know what I'm saying? So translate a conversation using both screens. That's nice. I like that. All right. Make your cover screen your own with widgets. Add multiple widgets to the cover screen and organize them the way you like. Okay, I kind of feel like some of the previous ones already said that. I'm starting to feel like they're saying the same thing, but just wording it differently to make it seem like it does more than what it actually does. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of get that vibe? I don't know. Use the cover screen on a table. Place your phone on a table or other flat surface, then open the phone less than halfway with the cover screen facing you. Okay? I mean, this is a flip, so yeah, naturally, I mean, that's one of the features. That's one of the benefits of having a flip device. Powerful while folded. You can make payments, unlock doors, start your car, and more, all without unfolding your phone. Okay, we gonna see, Samsung. Call from the cover screen. The direct dial widget lets you call your favorite people from the cover screen without opening your phone. Get extra controls in flex mode. Fold your phone upright to make the flex mode panel appear. You can control media playback, use a touchpad for mouse pointer controls, easily switch between apps in split screen view, and more. Okay, this feature is only available for apps that support multi-window. Okay, that is a nice feature. Like for instance, watching YouTube videos. You set the phone down, you flip the back part up, and the video will be playing on the upper display, but the bottom display that's sitting on the table will have like different controls and stuff that you can navigate. It's pretty slick. It's dope. Take selfies without opening your phone. Take selfies and selfie videos on the cover screen, then tap the thumbnail to review them right away. Okay. Preview shots on the cover screen. Turn on cover screen preview so your subject can see what your shot will look like before you take it. Cool. Don't miss a word during calls. Use call captions to show what each person says on the screen in real time. Nice feature. Okay. Put your best face forward. Best face help you fix blinks, odd expressions, and missed smiles with a single tap. Just turn on motion photo when you take the shot, then choose the best expression in Gallery's photo editor afterward. Okay. 3 more. Get recommended wallpaper from your own images. We'll recommend your best images from your Gallery app. Try a lock screen clock that fits your photos. A stylish clock with a new font is available to make your lock screen stand out from the crowd. The new clock adjusts to the shape of your photo for a seamless style. Works with pictures of people or animals. Okay, it's pretty nice. Different way of customizing your phone. Okay, then we got easier access to Galaxy Buds settings. Now this is crucial. You can now control your Galaxy Buds directly from your phone settings without the need to open the Galaxy Wearable app. Now that I'll use. Right, because I got my Galaxy. I'm one of those guys. It's like when I'm using a particular device, like say like Apple. When I'm using an iPhone, I got a couple of different pairs of AirPods. I got my watch, my Ultra Watch 2 here. You know what I'm saying? The iPad behind me. Like I get locked in with that device, and so it especially with Apple, you get locked in the ecosystem. But even Samsung, you know, you got your Samsung device. You know, I got my new Watch 8 Classic here. You know, I got, you know, the latest buds, not the Pro, but the ones that kind of fit in your ear like the AirPods do. I like that more than the Pros because I don't like jamming things down into my ear where it plugs my ear up. I don't like the way that feels. And sometimes accessing the controls for the Galaxy Buds can sometimes be a pain. So this is, you know, simplifying, you know, that, you know, so that you can easier get to the controls for the Buds. That's useful. That's a useful feature that I will definitely rock with. So, okay, yeah, so this is all 40 of the things all together. Okay, yeah, so we just basically just went through all that stuff. You're all set up. Go to home. And looks like things are still transferring from the S25. So I'm gonna let that finish up and then we'll dive into the software, you know, poke around in the settings, you know, mess around with some of the features and functions, and then we'll go ahead and close this thing on out. All right? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back in with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. I know this was like a couple of seconds for you guys, you know, as I, you know, smoothly transition, you know, from one aspect of the video to the next. But I mean, on my end, you know, I've been playing with this phone for about an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours, trying to get everything situated, mess with all the features, functions, customizing it, all that sort of thing. And so, yeah, here we are. So far, I like the device. I feel like I've liked all of the Z Flip devices because I'm a big fan of the clamshell folding idea. You know, obviously, you know, the Razr, they did it first back in the day with the original Razr. And there's been a few other, you know, OEMs that, you know, have come out with their own, you know, iterations of a clamshell folding device, and those are cool. But the main thing that kind of separate these devices is what you're able to do on that outer display. Okay. So for me, just personally, you know, how I judge these devices, they're all good devices. Now, in previous years, Samsung, the Flip compared to the Razrs were always like, you know, they always had like the top end flagship specs. So those were flagship devices. The Razr, I know when the Razr first dropped, it got slammed completely because it was more of a mid-range offering as far as what it had under the hood. But nonetheless, it was a Razr, and you had all the things that you could do on that external display. You know, when Samsung started making their clamshell version of the Flip, you know, they had that little teeny tiny, very offensive outer display. You could only do, you know, you could change songs, you could look at the time, you know, a little notification would pop up here or there, but that was really the extent of it, right? You couldn't really do a whole lot with it. And so this is where, you know, Motorola just kind of separated themselves, you know, as far as the clamshell folding device because of the capabilities that you had with that outer display. Well, now companies are starting to see that in order for them to be able to try to dethrone Motorola and take the crown as far as their clamshell foldable device being, you know, the creme de la creme, if you will, you know, they had to, you know, really, you know, really figure out what they were going to do with that outer display and give people the option or the ability to, you know, interact with their phone in the ways in which they want it to, not just be limited to, you know, what the manufacturer allows you to do, but really give us the ability to utilize that outer display so that we didn't have to open up the phone if we did not want to, right? And sometimes just constantly opening up the phone, closing it, opening, closing, it can get frustrating. That's why I really appreciate what Google has done, you know, with the Fold. I mean, you know, just the aspect ratio of that phone, it being a little wider, shorter, you know, that really gives you, you know, a feel of a typical candy bar style device, and pretty much everything you want or need to do on a phone, you could do that because it feels very similar to just a typical candy bar style device. And then, oh, by the way, you can open it up, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, multitask, you know, do your thing, watch, you know, your content or whatever on a much bigger canvas. And so, you know, I like that. Obviously, you know, you see what Samsung has done, you know, with the Fold 7, right? It's super thin. The external or the internal display rather, it's bigger. I mean, I think this device, you know, the Fold 7 is thinner than the Surface Duo. And I never thought I'd see a device, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that could, you know, I just never thought I'd see, you know, hardware that can match that. Yeah, I understand, you know, overseas, you know, there's some iterations, you know, Huawei, you know, Honor, you know what I'm saying? They got some really nice foldable phones, but, you know, those phones are very hard to get a hold of. You know what I'm saying? You can have them imported. For one, it's going to take you a boatload of time to get them. And then two, when you do get your hands on them, there's no guarantee that they're going to work over here in the States with the carriers here in the States, all being, you know, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, what have you. You know what I'm saying? You know, and some of the other sub brands, you know, Metro, PCS, you know, Cricket, you know, I have Google Fi. Google Fi is like one of my favorite networks. It's great. I just recently started a subscription because I wanted to try it out. Visible, you know, the company that's running on Verizon's network. It's actually really good and it's a great deal. You get a lot of value for the money on Visible. But it's just not a guarantee, you know, that those carriers will work, you know what I'm saying, on a phone that's imported from other markets. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like what you're able to get your hands on and be able to realistically use as a daily driver, you know, these options, you know, the Samsungs, the Flips, the Folds, you know, the Google Folds and all that type of stuff, those are it. You know what I mean? And so I like what Samsung has done here with the Flip 7, but here's the issue that I have with it still. Now, you know, my rep at my local Best Buy, Courtney, shout out to Courtney's, big salute. She's been very helpful, very instrumental with, you know, providing me with information, you know, about these devices, what have you. You know, she told me that on this device, you no longer had to go through a lot of the hoops that you had to jump through, you know, to be able to do what you can do on the Motorola Razr 2025 Ultra, which is what this is right here, right? So just a brief demonstration is the Razr. And, you know, you can put whatever apps you want to put on here, okay? And just pop into YouTube Music real quick. Okay. Loads it right up. Okay, we'll go out of that. Let's see, just a sec. What's this? Let's see if I want to go to YouTube. Okay. Go home. It always starts off with a short there. But yeah, this is YouTube. And I can watch whatever I want to watch here. Yeah, it's a little small. What's it? It's dead. What's happening to the Xbox? The Xbox ain't dead. Stop. Game Pass is crazy. Wow, 5 soldiers shot, Army sergeant arrested. My goodness, man. We're definitely living in the last days, man. It's crazy. You know, if I want to, I want to be able to just pick up my phone and do this. Okay. Now, you have the capability to do these things on the flip phones, but it's not as easy as just going to one part of the phone and selecting the apps. Like, so here, just for the sake of demonstration, for the apps, that little pin icon at the top right, I click on that, and this is where I can add apps or shortcuts. And then when I'm done, I just hit the little check. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do to add whatever apps that you want to have on your Razr. And it's like this across all the Razrs. You know, whichever one of these 2025, even the 2024, 2023, whichever one of these Razrs that you have, it is that simple to put the apps on the display in order for you to be able to watch, you know, or open up on this external display. Now, with Samsung, the frustrating thing about it is it's a process And there's absolutely positively no tutorial at all whatsoever. So a lot of people don't even realize that their flip has this feature. They don't even look for it. They're just under the assumption that, hey, it doesn't do it and I'm extremely limited to what I can do on that external display. Okay, so look, let me get some information here for you real quick. Okay. Now, I too forgot the steps myself. So, you know, I had to hop on Gemini, and I had to figure it out. So I looked it up on Google. My S25 here. Okay. To access any app on the external display of your Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7, you'll need to use the multi-star module within the Good Lock app. Okay. First, download and install the Good Lock app from the Galaxy Store. Then download the multi-star module. Within multi-star, you can select which apps you want to be accessible on the cover screen. Finally, add the Good Lock launcher widget to your cover screen. Okay. Now, it goes into a more detailed breakdown on how to do this. So it says first, download Good Lock in Multistar, open the Google Store and search for Good Lock, download and install the app, open Good Lock, navigate to the plugins tab and download the Multistar module. 2, configure Multistar. Open Multistar within Good Lock. Locate the I Love Galaxy foldable or launcher widget option. Select the apps you want to use on the external display. 3, add the Good Lock launcher widget. Go to your phone's main settings app, find cover screen or external screen settings, tap on widget, scroll until you find the Good Lock launcher widget and add it. And then 4, accessing apps on the cover screen. Now, when you navigate to your cover screen, you should see the Good Lock launcher widget. Tap on it to access the apps you selected in Multistar. This method allows you to bypass the limited selection of pre-approved apps for the external display and use any app you choose. Okay, so it's good to know that the phone has the capability to do that, right? But like I said, this phone fresh out of the box, there's zero tutorial on how to do this for those of us or those of you that may be interested in doing such a thing. Seems to be a bit of a headache. It's a lot of different steps. Now, I understand once you complete it and it's set up, then cool. You know what I'm saying? You can go into it and you can access whatever apps you want to access on the external display. But it just seems like a lot that you have to do just to be able to gain the capability, as opposed to how simplistic it is on the Razr. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the Razr reigns supreme over the Galaxy. So it's like each year it was like, okay, the Samsung had better specs, but the usability factor of the Razr was always better than the Samsungs. Now, interestingly enough, this particular year, now, you know, Razr came out with the Ultra and it's spec'd up and spec'd out. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Snapdragon 8 Elite. You know what I'm saying? Samsung, they decide to increase that outer display, you know what I'm saying, to make, you know, 4.1, you know, to match, you know, I think the Razr is a 4.1 or maybe it's a 4.3. I can't remember off the top of my head, but, you know, they increased the size of their external display, you know, to be more in contention with what the Razr's doing. They've always had the superior specs on the Samsungs. But then they decide to go with the Exynos 2500. Now, I'm not saying that the Exynos 2500 is a bad chip, but when you stack it side by side next to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, does it really compare? You know, some have said that they kind of see a bit of a difference. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just going to be solely dependent on what you're doing. You know, I've read certain reports where it's like, you know, gaming on this device, you know, it's one of those things where you have to be very careful with the types of games that you're playing. Graphically intense games, you can run them, but you may notice a little bit of, you know, a hiccup here and there. There may be a little bit of choppiness here or there, a little bit of buffering here or there that may slow down the smooth experience that you're not going to have to worry about on the Ultra, because the Ultra is running that Snapdragon 8 Elite with 12 gigs of RAM. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, compromises like that, where it's like, okay, you still have to jump through hoops to access all the apps that you want to on this outer display, and you're dealing with a bit of a weaker chip. It's just kind of like, now there are 3 iterations of the Razr 2025. You got the standard one, you got the Plus, and then you got the Ultra. Okay, so this is the Ultra, right? This is the big boy. And obviously, this is what, the Galaxy device is going to be compared to. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, is it a matter of preference? Sure. But I just think overall, yet again, even in the early assessment, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just unboxed this device. I've had this device since day one when it came out a couple of months ago. I know I didn't do a video on it because I was super busy and dealing with personal issues and things of that nature. But like I told you, just because I don't drop a content, or drop content for a minute, y'all, don't ever think that I'm out of the loop. I'm always dialed in and locked in with everything mobile tech. That's just my thing. I've always been a mobile tech nerd my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So especially with these cell phones. So I always stay locked in no matter what's going on, whether I'm uploading content consistently or not. And yeah, now, again, I'm in no way, shape, or form trying to say that the Samsung is a bad device. I'm actually looking forward to testing it because I haven't had too many Samsung devices that had the Exynos chip. I remember, they were, a lot of their flagships, they had Snapdragon chips in them. But then, like, if you bought like the Chinese variant of this of whatever that said, model of the S series or whatever it was, those had the Exynos chips in it. And it was always a comparison as to which one performed better. And it appeared, as far as what I can recall, that the Snapdragon chips always performed a little bit better than those Exynos chips. So it's like, why Samsung decided to go with the Exynos chip in the Flip 7 this particular year round, I have no clue. Again, it's not to say that it's a bad, chip. It's not to say that your phone isn't going to function. I mean, I just cracked the phone out of the box. And so naturally, fresh out of the box, things are going to be nice and smooth. But over time, I think that's when the tail of the tape is really going to be, that story is really going to be told. How does this chip stack up over time? And so, just off the rip, just having to go through all that stuff just to access the apps and everything, that's a bit of a headache for some. Some people may be like, oh, that's not really a big deal. It's just a few steps you got to do. And then once you cross that path, you'll never have to do it again. And you'll always and forever be able to access whatever applications that you want on that external display. But like I just showed you, the simplicity of it, the one step that you have to take on the Motorola versus the 4 or 5 steps, not singular, plural steps that you have to take on the Samsung just to be able to access that capability. That can be a bit much. But I mean, I think overall, it's a Samsung device. And, Samsung devices, they generally, I don't think that I've ever had a bad experience with a Samsung device, with the exception of the Note 8, when they were just, catching on fire in people's pockets. And mine never caught on fire, but the phone got recalled. I was having a great time with that phone, great experience. And so I personally have never had a bad experience with any Samsung device, with the exception of some battery, life, issues from time to time with certain devices. People have complained over the years about, like, what is it? Shutter lag. I've never experienced shutter lag with the camera. The Samsung cameras for me have always been solid. And every photo that I've tried to capture, I captured that photo with no problems at all whatsoever. But I've heard a lot of people over the years talk about, oh, shutter lag. And, I've never dealt with it. Now, apparently that's something that's gone by the wayside. Samsung, they've listened and they've corrected that issue. And, now their cameras are on par with some of the best of them. So, I think that this device is going to be solid, all the way around. If you are coming from a previous gen, flip device, you're going to be right at home with this device. If you're new to this device, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with the device open, I mean, 6.9 inches, I mean, this is a big phone, right? It's tall and it's thin. Okay. Same thing with the Razr. If you want to go with the Razr seems like it's a tad bit wider than the Samsung. Maybe it's just because I don't even have a case on the Razr. So when I pre-ordered the Razr, you had, you got the Clicks keyboard as a promo gift for the pre-order through Best Buy. And so, you know, I pre-ordered the Razr Ultra through Best Buy, got the Clicks keyboard, and I know that people praise the Clicks keyboard and they're like, oh man, BlackBerry nostalgia feel. And yeah, when this device is closed, it gives you that feel. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that when you have that Clicks keyboard attached to this thing, and this is the Razr I'm talking about, when you have that Clicks keyboard attached, it adds bulk, and then, you know, the keyboard goes down from the screen. So while the device is closed like this, having that keyboard there, perfect. It's not a problem. But the issue is when you have to open up this thing, because this too is 6.9 inches, and then you've got this big chin down here, which is where the physical keys are. It's not ideal. It makes the phone really like bulky, heavy. It's kind of like, it gets kind of weighty, like, you know, obviously, you know, where all the buttons are for the physical keyboard and, you know, the Type-C port, it's heavy and it weighs the phone down. So the phone can, you know, fall out of your hand if you're not holding it properly or holding it tightly. I mean, it was just a hassle. And then I was also having issues, you know, I would always have to like go into the Clicks app and like activate something in order for the buttons to work. So there was a lot of times when I was just trying to use the Clicks keyboard and I was pushing buttons thinking that I was typing, composing, or responding, and nothing was happening. You know what I mean? And finally I just got frustrated and I just took it off. You know, but the case that's on here, this top case is the case that came with the Clicks keyboard. So I haven't even gotten a case for this Razr just because that Pantone, I mean, that's just beautiful. And this is like, it feels just the way that feels. It's like a suede, like a velvet. Oh man, it just feels real good in the hands. You know what I'm saying? Real good. It's not slick. It's just a nice, the phone is curvy. It's a nice feel. You know, as opposed to the Samsung here, you know, the Samsung, it's boxy. You see it's got rounded corners. I mean, so that helps with holding it in the hand. You know, if you're holding this phone in your hand for an extensive period of time, especially when it's open, you know, the edges aren't like digging into the palm of your hand or anything like that. So, you know, that helps. But yeah, I mean, I think overall it's going to be a solid device. My main concern with this device is that Exynos chip and how it's going to perform over time. But as you see there, double tap to lock the screen. I like the always on display. I mean, now, you know, Samsung and Apple, they copy each other all the time. And you know, before Samsung, they had always on display well before Apple did. But when Apple implemented always on display on the iPhones, this is what it looked like. It was just like the home screen just went really dim and you just left, you know, you were left seeing the time and the date, which I thought was a really cool look. And now, you know, the always on display on the Samsungs has taken on that same always on display approach, which I thought was, I don't know, kind of lame if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you helped pioneer, you know, this technology, these features, you know, and then Apple finally catches up and does it. But then I don't know if Samsung felt the need to copy it because they felt like Apple did it a little better. That's the thing with Apple. It may take them a long time to implement something. And when something finally does get implemented to the iPhone, all the Apple Knights and Knights, you know, they get super excited as though it's just this really new feature. And it's like, you know, look, I hate to burst your bubble, but this is something that's been on Android for years. But when they finally do implement something on the iPhone, the way it works is golden, right? And there's something to be said for that. It takes them a while, but when they do something, they really do it. That's why I think, you know, with foldables, I think it's crazy that we haven't had a foldable iPhone as of yet, but I hear that it's in the works. You know, people, I think, are still kind of on the fence with foldables, unless you're like a tech enthusiast like me. You know, people that are really deep off in this tech, mobile tech game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, new foldable comes out, you know, we get excited, but other people are kind of hesitant. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, when Apple drops a foldable, whether it's a clamshell like these flips, or if it's something that's like the fold where it just kind of opens up like a book, oh man. Oh man, and it don't matter how much it costs. That phone can be $3,000-$4,000. It's selling out. It's off the shelves immediately. Immediately. And I'll probably be one of them ones, you know what I'm saying, pre-ordering it, shedding out the cash. You know what I'm saying? Because I like Apple. I like both operating systems, but mostly I've been, you know, rocking with my 16E here. And I like the E. I think the E is a great device. I actually think the E is a better device than the Pro and the Pro Max 16. And some of y'all be like, man, Pristine, you're crazy. I got my reasons for that though. So make sure that you're tuned in, subscribe to the channel, because I got my full Pristine review coming for the 16E very soon. And you know, just hear me out. You know what I'm saying? Hear me out before you crucify me. You know what I'm saying? I'm entitled to my opinion. You know, so just have an open mind. All right, my opinion is what it is. All right, now, so yeah, the biometrics, you know, side-mounted fingerprint sensor, boom, you see that. Barely tap it. Super responsive, works 100% of the time. Facial recognition, just hold the phone up or double tap, boom, recognizes my face, pops right into the display. Oh. Boom, super quick. I like that. I do have it set to where, you know, as soon as it recognizes my face, it goes straight to the home screen. You can have it to where it'll unlock the phone, but you'll still have to like swipe up or something like that as an added security feature when your phone is unlocked with facial recognition. So be mindful that that is an option that you have on this device, on the Samsung. Let me see. All right, so what we'll do is we'll pop in the settings. We'll go down to About Phone. And again, Z Flip 7, model name, serial number, IMI information. Okay, software information. We've got One UI version 8.0, Android version 16. There was a security patch update as soon as I turned this device on, and so you know I got that downloaded. I mean, so that's a plus. You know, Google Play System update May 1st, 2025. Yeah. Let's see. It's the software. All right. Battery information, software information, status information. Anything there of importance? No. Okay. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. But yeah, again, now the phone is connected to my Wi-Fi. I made an attempt to move my eSIM from my 16E here to this device, but T-Mobile is forcing me to call them, so I wasn't able to do that. So my phone is connected to Wi-Fi right now, and so I'm just gonna pop into a couple of apps just to see how quickly. Robert Frank, he is a nut. Got him, my boy Tech Odyssey. What we talking about? Google just embarrassed Apple with the Pixel 10. Wow. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out, man, because my boy Tech Odyssey, he be going in on Apple, man. He be going in on Apple, and it is hilarious because somebody needs to. And so I like how real he keeps it, you know. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm just this football stuff. Distracted. Yeah. But oh, that's my son, Young Zay. Okay. Yeah, my son wants to be a rapper. He's got some videos on and a bunch of songs on SoundCloud and stuff like that. So that's my oldest. He's 21 and he's trying to make a splash into the rap game. So yeah. Matter of fact, y'all check him out. Y'all check. Young Zay is his name. Little shameless plug for my boy. All right, Zay. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever say I didn't do nothing for you, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm promoting you on my platform. All right. Yeah, so, you know, it just popped right into YouTube. Oh my goodness, Robert Frank, that guy is a nut. All right, let me go to studio. Let's see, Spotify. All right, so I haven't logged into any apps or anything, so it's just gonna take me there. But let me see, YouTube Music. Sure, it's gonna pop into that because I've already logged into Google. All right, let's go to Epidemic Sound. All right, pops right into that. Let's go shopping. Let's go to Amazon real quick. Okay, popped right into Amazon. Let's go to Best Buy. Okay, about 3 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Go to eBay real quick. All right, popped right on into eBay. Let's see, let's go to GameStop. You know what I'm saying? What's up, GameStop? All right, about 4.5 seconds, you know what I'm talking about? All right, let me see, go to Puma real quick. Puma's my favorite shoe brand, man. Puma, they just got so many dope shoes and sweat outfits, tracksuits, all that type of, that's my style, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like dress up unless I'm like really going to like a function, but yeah, just normal stuff, chilling around the house or just running little errands here and there. Oh man, I'm in a nice little tracksuit with a fresh pair of matching Pumas, man, and I'm just killing them out here, man. Just, you know what I'm saying, just pristine, man. That's why my name is Pristine. You know, you got to keep it pristine, man, in all that you do, you know? Yeah, but yeah, you swipe up and hold. That's gonna take you to all your recents. And let me go back to YouTube Music, boom. Held very well in the RAM. No reloading or anything. Let's go back to Spotify. Yeah, it's all there. No problems. YouTube Music. Okay, that's having to reload a little bit. How long is it gonna take? All right, wow. All right, wonder what's going on with that. Okay, Best Buy right there. Oh, there we are. Samsung Z Fold Flip 7. Still got the promos going on. Okay, is that still? Man, what's going on with that? Let's say close all. YouTube Music. Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, not sure. There was a little hiccup there. But yeah, so you know, you guys get the idea. Now, the phone is connected to my Wi-Fi at home. And so, you know, if you're, you know, opening and closing apps or whatever, you know, just on your mobile network, whatever that may be, you know, speeds are going to differ, you know, but, you know, I've got a really, really strong, you know, connection here at home. And so things just typically fly, you know, when I'm connected to my home network. All right. But yeah, you know, performance, fluidity, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all that, you know, scrolling, you know, I believe this is a variable refresh rate up to 120 hertz. You see things are just very, very responsive, moving very quickly to the slightest of touch. But again, this phone is brand new. And so I expect this fresh out of the box. Like I said, the overall test is going to be how this phone performs over time. Let me see, new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. The Flip 7 is the ultimate smartphone with pocket perfect AI. Yeah, see, yeah, Samsung is, you know, they're heavily advertising this joint. Yeah, it just popped right into the Samsung.com app. This is where you go to order it up from. And you could see 512. Yeah, Samsung can send me notifications. I ain't tripping. 256 gig, 1099, 512, 1219.99. Okay, like I said, if you pre-ordered, then you got the 512 gig version for the price of the 256 gig variant. Yeah, man, that Samsung dude, man, I ain't tripping. Here's that color, like the what is this, coral red? Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's like a pink, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I said that it just looks feminine, like I said, I didn't mean that. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. I'm not a sexist. you know, whatever you identify as, and, you know, whatever your color schemes are that you like, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? So please don't hear me saying, oh, it looks feminine, and feel some kind of way about that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to insult anybody. I just want to put that out there. People be way too sensitive these days. Yeah, so yeah, now you see it. It says coral red. It's like a peach, or like a pink. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen. Now we'll pop into the settings, okay? And in typical, you know, pristine unboxing fashion, we will go down the settings. And let me see here. Go ahead and lean this back a little bit so that you guys can see it, and I ain't necessarily got to hold it. Boom, there we go. Whew, turn this fan on in here because it's hot. So I hope that white noise in the back doesn't interfere with the video too much, but y'all don't understand, man, recording this content and being up under these lights just to make sure that you guys can see things properly. Lighting is very important, you know what I'm saying, when you're recording content. And so, man, it gets hot. You know, we're in the middle of the summer. You know, it's like 85 degrees outside, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm sorry if the fan is, you know, making a little white noise in the background, but I'm hot. All right. So, settings, will start off with connections. This is where you're going to find Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, SIM manager. You get into that. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, and contactless payments. We do have NFC, as I mentioned at the top of the video. Airplane mode, SIM manager, data usage, mobile hotspot and tethering, more connection settings. Okay, we got nearby device scanning. Okay, I don't need that on. Printing, VPN, private DNS, and then Ethernet, and then auto update system configurations. Allow automatic network configuration changes. Even when this is off, configuration may be auto updated for safety, security, or to ensure functionality. Okay, yeah, I'll leave that on. All right. So this is what you're going to find under connections. And then, you know, at the bottom, there's always, you know, looking for something else: Samsung Cloud, secure Wi-Fi, link to Windows, Android Auto, or Quick Share. Okay. All right, then we got connected devices. This is where you're going to find Quick Share, Music Share. What is this? Because I don't ever share music, and so I try to make it a point to turn off things that I'm not utilizing just to really save my battery. Let nearby friends play music on your Bluetooth speaker on this phone. Turn on Music Share and connect to a speaker on your friend's phone. Go to the list of Bluetooth devices, tap the speaker to connect, then start playing. Yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm rocking out, if I'm connected to a speaker and I'm bumping cuts, then I'm the DJ. You know what I'm saying? You know, I set the tone musically. Ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying, interfering with what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm gonna turn that off. You know what I'm saying? All right, auto switch buds. Okay, so automatically switch your Galaxy Buds from another device to this phone when you make a call, answer a call, or play media. Both the other device and this phone must be signed into the same Samsung account. Your buds must have connected to this phone at least once before. Okay. And I do have Galaxy Buds, but they have yet to have been connected to this phone. So I'm gonna get those paired up along with my Watch 8 Classic there. And I'm gonna rock out all things Samsung. Yes. Call and text on other devices. A SIM is required to use or call text. Okay, yeah, I haven't put a SIM in here or downloaded one yet. Continue on other devices. Camera share. What is this? Yeah, I don't mess with that. What is camera share? Use this phone's camera as a webcam for a nearby Galaxy Book or tablet. Nope. That's a cool feature, but that's not something that I use. Storage share. Nope, I don't share storage. Link to Windows. Multi-control. Use the keyboard or mouse connected to one Galaxy device to control all of your. Yeah, that's a cool feature too, but I don't use that, so we'll turn that off. Samsung DeX. Smart View Galaxy Wearable. Smart Things, Android Auto. You're going to find all these settings under Connected Devices. All right, now we go to Galaxy AI, which, I've gone through a lot of these things, earlier in the video. Advanced Intelligence, Call Assist, Writing Assist, Interpreter, Note Assist, Transcribe Assist, Browsing Assist, Photo Assist, Drawing Assist, Audio Eraser, Photo Ambient Wallpaper, Now Brief, Health Assist. Just all the assist imaginable. You see? You see there's a lot of AI features there that you can get into with this device. Okay, we've got modes and routines. Now this is a dope feature because you can plug, different aspects of your life, or, different aspects of your day into the phone, and the phone will make adjustments based on what you currently have going on at that moment. So choose a mode based on what you're doing or where you are. Your phone settings will change to match your activity or situation. Add your home, work, and other places to start modes and routines when you arrive or leave. And so it says not now or add a place. And so you got sleep, theater, driving, exercise, relax, work, game, or you can add a mode. And this is for modes. And then you got routines, which get quick access to all of your routines by adding the app to your app screen. And then you got not now or add. And then it says add your homework or other places to start modes and routines when you arrive or leave, which, I just set that on the previous screen. And then you go to discover, and modes and routines automate the everyday with routines for various situations. Useful on the go, commute with Galaxy Bud 3, going to work, heading home, hear notifications aloud, navigate home. What is this? Useful at certain times or locations, at school, in the dark, meeting, morning music, traveling abroad, workout recap before bed. Then it says get the best media experience, auto rotate, music playlist, play media with Galaxy Buds 3, read comfortably, separate app sound, streaming video, and then you got battery, charging, get notified when fully charged, low battery alert, save battery at night, wireless charging, visual effect, get the most out of your phone. Yeah, there's just a whole list of modes and routines that you can get into. Okay. So you're going to find that under modes and routines. Now, sounds and vibrations. This is where you go to either turn on the sound or off, put the phone on vibrate or put it on mute. You see here, vibrate while ringing. I like that feature because sometimes if the phone's in my pocket, I may not hear it ring, but I'll always feel it vibrating. And this is also where you go to, select your ringtones, notification tones, system sounds. You got system sound theme, touch interaction. So that's the little noise that the phone will make if you tap on the display, or if you're texting, each key you hit, it makes a little noise. Dialing keypad, little noises when you hit the numbers when you're dialing a number. Samsung keyboard, again, that's just hearing little clicks every time you tap one of the letters. Charging, the sound that it makes. Screen lock, unlock, the little lock or unlock sound that it makes when you double tap the screen, or when you wake up the screen and the screen is unlocked and it makes a little unlock sound. All those things can be toggled on or off here in system sound. Okay. Now we got the volumes. These are the various volumes that we have for the ringtone, media, notification, system, AI assist, alarm. Now I like, this is one of the main things that I loved about One UI, because the volumes were different. And Android, they seem to have fixed that as of late, with some of the more recent software iterations. Whereas before, the ringtone and the notification tone were consolidated. And so if you wanted to turn down the ringtone, you also were turning down your notification tone, or vice versa. And I hated that, because there were times where I only wanted to maybe turn down the notification tone a smidge, but I wanted to leave the volume where it was. But that wasn't possible before. because if you move that slider down, you are cutting down both the notification tone and the ringtone. I hated it. So I love the fact that One UI always kept it separate. You had your ringtone volume and you had your notification tone. And you see here, you've got all these different tones: ringtone, media, notifications, system, AI assist, alarm. Man, you got 6 different volumes here. And so I just love, you know, the customization ability here, just to, you know, make the volumes where you want them for each one of these different categories. I'm really a fan of that. Okay. Call vibration. So you can also customize the vibrations. You could turn up or turn down how intense you want the vibrations to be. Now by default, it's turned all the way up. You got silent if you want to turn notifications or the vibrations off. But then you got short, medium, basic call, which is what it's on by default. You got heartbeat, tick-tock, waltz, and zig, 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 which are all different vibration patterns that the phone will do whenever you get a phone call or a notification. Okay, so that's how you toggle the vibration to your heart's content in the settings under vibration intensity. Well, no, you got vibration, system vibration. Oh, well, this is the vibrations for all these different things. So touch interactions, dialing the keypad, Samsung keyboard, charging, navigation, gestures, camera feedback. Okay. And then vibration intensity. So for calls, it's all the way up. For notifications, it's all the way up. For system, it's scaled down a bit. For media, the vibration intensity is turned all the way up. That's all by default. All right. Sound quality and effects. Now, this is one of my favorite features on Samsung devices because I've never seen anything like this on other phones. I know that other phones, they come with that what is it? They'll have, like, you know, Dolby Atmos that offers some customizable features to the sound, or they'll have is it DTS? I believe, is it DTS aptX, which, you know, some devices will have, and that also will offer similar features, kind of comparable to what you know, Dolby Atmos does. But what Samsung does is Samsung takes it a bit further. And, you know, with the sound quality and effects, yeah, you got Dolby Atmos that's turned on. Okay, you got an equalizer, which I have my EQ settings. You know, and so I think, what is that? That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 9-band EQ setting. You got presets: balanced, bass boost, smooth, dynamic, clear, treble boost, and then custom. You know, I like to customize my music to my liking rather than going with these little presets, because I think these presets, a lot of times they just don't sound right. But you got boost dialogue, which is going to enhance the sound of voices. You got loudness normalization, which prevents sound from suddenly becoming too loud or too quiet while playing media. So it just basically just keeps everything keeps the volume even keeled. And I know that certain songs are recorded with higher quality or lower quality, and that's why a lot of times when you're listening to music, you know, as your playlist goes on, some songs may just sound louder than others. Well, this just kind of normalizes that so that doesn't happen. Right? Yeah, you're going to be able to listen to your content at the volume that you want it to. But I mean, let's just say if one song was recorded at a higher frequency than the last song that played, then naturally that next song that plays, it's going to sound louder. Well, this is going to minimize it from doing that. Okay. You have app sound settings, and then you have adapt sound. Now, this is where things get really crazy, and I love this about the Samsung devices, and I talk about this in every unboxing video that I do on any Samsung device. And this has been a technology that's been on Samsung devices for a long time. Adapt sound gives you perfect sound that's tuned just for your ears. It works whenever you're wearing headphones. Choose a preset that matches your age, or take a hearing test to create a personalized sound profile. Okay. This is for media and calls. So you got under 30 years old. It says boost high frequencies. You got between 30 and 60 years old, which I'm 46. I'll be 47 next month in September. So that's why it's selected You know, you see the blue dot right there between 30 and 60. And then you got over 60-year-old, which for 30 and 60, it says boost high, mid frequencies. And then over 60 years old, boost all frequencies. You know, I guess it's assuming that you're going to be a bit more hearing compromised at 60. So it's going to boost all frequencies. You know what I'm saying? But you have this little settings icon. So what you can do is you could do a preview, and then it says preferred ear for calls, sound preference, clear. So you could choose which ear you want to have for calls, which I always wear, you know, my AirPods or Galaxy Buds or whatever in my left ear if I'm on calls. So that's selected left, and then sound preference clear. You can change this to clear or soft. Now what you can do is you can hit preview, and it's going to start playing little beeps in your ear, and you tell the device whether or not you can hear it. And it does it for both ears while you have both earbuds on. And what it's doing is it will customize a sound based on how you respond to whether or not you're able to hear the little sounds that it plays in each one of your ears. And then it will just customize, you know, your audio or your media based on, you know, how you did. I've never seen any other phone do that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can especially appreciate this because I'm an audiophile. And so I'm all about customizing music and playing around with equalizers and stuff like that to really customize the music to sound how I want it to sound. And so this just kind of takes it a step further. So any audiophiles out there, music enthusiasts like myself, man, you're gonna love that feature. And then you got UHQ upscaler, which make the sound of your music and videos clearer when you wear headphones. And so that is available when you're like headphones or, you know, plugged into the Type-C port, or if you're connected to the phone via Bluetooth, you'll be able to turn that feature on. Okay. And then we got separate app sound, play media sound from one app on a different audio device. Yeah, I don't mess with that. But you do have the feature there if that's something that you want to, you know, mess around with. Notifications, app notifications, notification pop-up style. This kind of gives me like iPhone vibes, how like you can kind of, you know, change how you want notifications to pop up on the screen. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you know, Apple and Samsung, you know, they copy each other all the time. I mean, so that's not really a big deal. You know, it's dope that they take the best features from one another and just implement on their devices. You know, so that's good for us, the consumers. But choose how notifications will pop up on the screen when you receive them. So you got a brief or detailed. You can also change the appearance of each app's notification pop-ups in the app's notification settings. You can add lighting effects, which this one is just basic. You can see the little red around the screen. And this is where you can customize, you know, you can customize that. I like that. Again, just another one of those One UI customization features that you don't really find on a lot of other devices. And that's really just what makes a lot of these Samsung devices stand out, man, just because the way in which you can customize them. I mean, One UI is just so robust with customizable features, things that you wouldn't even think of that you can do, this phone has. And so it just makes the overall experience, for me, that much cooler. Yeah. Okay, so you got hide content while locked, sort and filter notifications, appearance, status bar. So you can choose in the status bar, like when you've got notifications, you can choose whether or not you can just at the top left by the clock, you can have just a bunch of icons up there, or you can just have a dot, which I think is a lot cleaner looking, or you can just have none. But I'd rather, you know, have a dot to let me know that, hey, okay, you know, that dot signifies that I've got some notifications that I may want to check. And so, you know, you do have that whole thing where you swipe down from the left, just like on iPhones, to see all the notifications. You swipe down from the right to get to your quick toggles. And so you see here, swipe down from the right to get to the toggles, swipe down from the left to get to notifications. Okay. All right, so lock screen. This is what things are going to look like on the lock screen. So just kind of similar to Apple, you know, you got cards for that will pop up when notifications pop up. You can do icons, which again, the icons right next at the top left next to the clock, or you can do just a single dot. I know it's too small for you guys to see, but I think for the lock screen, I got cards set up just because I like the way that looks. All right, cover screen. Show notifications, show notification pop-ups, even while the screen is off, and then quick responses. Then do not disturb advanced settings. Okay, you got notification history, show app icon and notifications, suggest actions and replies for notifications, show snooze button, floating notifications, conversations, repeat notification alerts, app icon badges. So you can do a number or a dot, and so I chose number just because it's cool to just be able to look at an app, and like if I'm messaging app, if I got 4 missed text messages, then it'll just show a number 4, letting me know that I got 4 messages that I need to check. Like I like that. Okay. And so yeah, that's going to be found under advanced settings. And then, you know, we got display, dark mode, of course. Okay, of course, you know that. I mean, all black, everything, no racist. Come on now. Dark mode settings. You can set it, you can turn dark mode on, you can schedule it to come on. So like you can set it up like with the weather to where when it's light out, then it'll be light. And then when it starts to get dark outside, the phone will transition to dark mode. For me, it's just dark mode all the time, all day, every day. You know, adaptive brightness. Here's our brightness slider here. That's on about, I want to say like 25, maybe 30%. Because this phone gets super bright. I believe the peak max brightness is like 2600 nits. So yeah, the phone gets really bright. Extra brightness, increase the maximum brightness. This uses more battery. Yeah, no, don't turn that on. Okay, motion smoothness. Here, you know, I would have liked to have seen, you know, options, you know, 90 hertz, 120, 144, 165. You know, give us the option to toggle the refresh rate that we want, as opposed to it just being adaptive or standard. Adaptive, I believe, is just, you know, 1 hertz on up to 120, based on just whatever the phone is doing. But if you put this phone on standard, it's a noticeable difference, and it just looks terrible. It's very choppy. It's not all that responsive. It just looks bad. So I would advise against it. Now, you know, keeping adaptive display on, it does drain battery a bit. And so if you find yourself in a pinch where your battery is taking a hit and you need to put it on power saving mode, or, you know, turn some things off to kind of conserve battery life, then definitely turn off adaptive and turn it on standard, because this is just 60 hertz standard. But the scrolling and the responsiveness is just absolutely brutal when you take it off of adaptive. So just be mindful of that. I mean, it's brutal, you know, and that's just what it is. All right, you got eye comfort shield, adaptive color tone, screen mode, vivid, just because I like colors to pop. You know, I don't mind if colors are a bit oversaturated. You got vivid, natural. Oh, I don't know if you can't really tell a difference there, but vivid, the colors are just a tad bit brighter. Also vivid, you have the ability to control the white balance. You can make it cool to give it more of a bluish tint, make it warm to give it more of a yellowish tint. By default, it's in the middle. Then you got advanced settings. You can change the RGB, and you could also change the vividness, which changing the vividness is a new wrinkle. Before, you just only been able to you were only able to change the white balance, the RGB, but not the vividness. So that's a nice touch. Didn't know that. Natural, everything is just natural. So those extra, you know, features that you just saw under vivid, those aren't available to you if you put things on natural. It's only when things are on vivid, and things are on vivid by default, and I like it there, and so that's where I'm going to keep it. All right. Font size and style. You know, this is where you can change the font size, bold font, font size, camera cutout. This is where for different apps that you're in, you could show camera cutout or hide the camera cutout, and it will, you know, give you all the apps that you've got downloaded on your phone. You can select whether or not you want the camera cutout to be covered or if you want it exposed. Okay. And then this is also where you go to set your screen timeout. You got 15 seconds on up to 10 minutes. Keep screen on while viewing. That is of an important feature, which is why I have it turned on. Easy mode, edge panels. I don't rock with the edge panels, but if you do, you can turn that on, and then you'll see the little bar right here pop up. And then you can get your edge panel right there. You can customize that however you want to. I never use that feature, so I just turn it off. You know, I just don't think it's all that useful. Navigation bar. You got buttons or swipe gestures. More options. You know, gesture sensitivity, lower or higher. Okay. Circle to search. Touch and hold the home button on the navigation handle to search using the content on your screen. Little AI wrinkle. Okay. What else? Accidental touch protection. I have that turned on. Touch sensitivity, show charging information. And that's everything that's under display. Battery. See, the phone is brand new, fresh out the BIOMETRICS, so it's still learning usage patterns, which is why it says that right there. Power saving, background usage limits, battery protection, basic, and yeah, it just shows you just all the different ways in which you've used your battery. It gives you a bit of a little metric here, you know, or a tool just to kind of see what is consuming your battery life the most. I mean, so if you need to make, you know, some adjustments, then you can, to kind of conserve your battery life. And yeah, that is pretty useful. Wallpaper and style. This is where you can go to customize your wallpaper, color palette. Yeah, I'm just, you know, Michael Myers, man. That's just, Halloween will always be my ringtone on every phone, and more than likely, you know, some type of, you know, Halloween wallpaper. And these wallpapers, what I do is I go online and I find pictures of Michael Myers and I screenshot them. And then, you know, you can go into, you know, the edit mode, and you can kind of edit the photos and, you know, add things, take things away, kind of change the lighting. And so that's what I do. So this particular screensaver that I have, I mean, you're probably not going to find it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I took a screenshot of a photo of Michael Myers from one of the more recent movies, and I screenshotted it and I edited it to make it look like this. Basically, I just grayscaled it, and that's my wallpaper. So if anybody asks, hey man, Pristine, where'd you get that wallpaper? Man, I screenshotted it, and I mean, you can find this picture of Michael Myers, but you would have to do your own editing to make it look like this if, you know, you want your wallpaper to look like this. But that's what I do. So this isn't like some kind of launcher or anything. I didn't just find this picture of Michael Myers like that. I had to kind of tweak it a little bit after, you know, screenshotting it off of an image that I found on Google. Okay. Yeah. Themes, you know, there's a theme store. All kind of themes and things that you can download. Very, very robust. You got themes, wallpapers, icon packs, always on displays, and menu. So you just got a whole host of things that you can download and really customize this thing even more. Okay, home screen, app size, app labels, widget labels, home screen layout, home and app screens, which is where I have it, which, you know, you go home and then you swipe up, and that's going to take you to the app screen. But you can change it to where you can just have just a bunch of pages scrolling side by side of all the apps with no app drawer. Okay. So this is where you go to change that. And then you can change the home screen grid, how many apps you want to cross versus how many apps you want up and down. App screen grid, folder grid. Yeah. You can toggle all that stuff. All right. Lock screen and always on display. Lock screen and biometrics. I have a PIN, facial recognition, and fingerprints. Extend unlock, secure lock settings, always on display. Now bar. Touch and hold to edit. Roaming clock. Content information, show unlock transition effects, about lock screen, and then looking for something else. And there's a few more things there. Edit lock screen notification, face recognition, fingerprints, show alerting notifications only. Yeah. All right. Cover display. Now you see, this is another one. Another, picture of Michael Myers that I saw screenshotted. And I think that that's a dope cover display. I also have that as my cover display on my Razr Ultra here, yeah. So I know you guys, that probably throws you guys for a loop. Like, man, this guy, he's a man of the cloth, Christian brother, always be talking about God in the end of his videos, witnessing, but he's got the Michael Myers ringtone on all of his phones. My office area here, there's, Michael Myers posters. I've got a poster of It. I've got a poster of Jason from Friday the 13th. I'm just a horror movie buff, man. You know what I'm saying? My horror movies is my favorite genre of movies, and horror games are my favorite genre of games to play. And so, yeah, I got Michael Myers wallpapers and this and that. Like, that's pretty diabolical, you know what I'm saying, for a Christian. But I just like what I like. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And I don't let demonic forces get the best of me and dictate my moves or actions or anything like that. I don't condone a lot of the stuff that's happening in these movies and things. It is just entertainment, so please don't trip. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, so that's my cover display. You can add new. You can see, you can scroll down, and there's a bunch of different ones here that you can choose. You could customize your own and make it. You got widgets here that you could select. Now brief, battery, calculator, calendar, clock, contacts, device care. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, device care, digital well-being, Galaxy Buds 3 manager, which I probably will add that. Gallery, global goals, Google Health, modes and routines, news, notes, phone, reminder, smart things, Spotify, voice recorder, and weather. Okay, and this is just giving you a demonstration on, what it's going to look like on the external display. Okay, cover screen timeout, 10 seconds. Notifications, I've got those all turned on. And yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the cover display. We got security and privacy, location, settings and emergencies. Let me see, manage accounts. Is sync on? No, sync is off because that fries my battery. So yeah. Google advanced features. This is where we go to Bixby. I don't even know why Bixby is still Samsung. Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to say Bixby isn't useful for those that use them, but come on, man. We got Google, we got Gemini, bruh. Like, ain't nobody using... Gemini has been advertised so tough lately, especially with all this AI stuff. I ain't heard nothing about Bixby. I can't remember the last time I heard Bixby brought up, ever. I mean... Samsung, just kill it, man. Look, I know you're trying to compete with Apple. You want Bixby to be on Siri status, and Siri needs some work, but that's Apple's main voice assistant, and there's so many people that have iPhones all over the world, and so Siri is major. Bixby, I'm sorry, bruh. But Samsung, you need to just go ahead and just you need to turn his TV off, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What's my man Hassan Campbell? Man, you need to go ahead and rock and just, take Bixby and rock his snot box back. You know what I'm saying? You need to disconnect Bixby from the network, man. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need to turn his TV off, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, come on, man. Bixby. Jeez. Yeah. But I mean, for those of you that can't let it go, it's there. It's there. So yeah, labs. Try experimental features. Some features may not work correctly with all apps. Multi-window for all apps. Use main screen navigation on cover screen. Apps allowed on cover screen. Labs. This is another place that you can go to as well. So here. So I didn't okay. So this isn't necessarily a tutorial on how to get apps to work on the cover display, but if you go here and you're poking around, it says apps allowed on the cover display. You click that. And then it says choose apps to allow to run on the cover screen. Because this is a labs feature, some apps may not work as expected. Okay, so we'll do maps, messages, WhatsApp, of course. WhatsApp is my main messaging app, and YouTube. Okay. Then it says download and install Multistar to allow more apps on the cover screen. Okay, let's just do that real quick. Okay, Multistar. Okay, let's install it. All right. And this is Good Luck Labs, and it says top apps in the category Edge Touch, Phone Connect, System Update, and no, okay. Okay, supports One UI 8 and above, exclusive launcher widget features for Flip 7, okay. Description, enjoy enhanced multi-window experience, enjoy enhanced multi-window, let me see, it's got a 3.5 rating. Now here we go. Now somebody, this is Bo. This is July 29, 2025. A really good start. I don't understand why Samsung couldn't just do this themselves. Even if you have to warn people that many apps aren't going to work, you got to start somewhere. I'm giving 5 stars in hopes that this app will continue to improve to make this product better. Okay, yeah, I feel you. Like, they should give a tutorial letting people know that you do have the capability of having any app you want on the external display, but there's just a process in which you have to go about doing that. Like I said, there's no tutorial on how to do it. So now that I've got Multistar downloaded, that's one less thing that I have to do, and I can just, you know, follow the steps from Google and get that situated. But under labs, I mean, if most of these apps that are listed here are some of the only apps that you will run on the external display, then there'd be no use for you to download Multistar. Okay. Some of the apps that I use the most, you know, WhatsApp and YouTube. But it's like, you know, I'd like to access like all my banking apps and all that type of stuff on the external display and not always have to flip the phone open. I mean, so it still would be useful for me to have that. But yeah, you find this under labs. Okay. Then we got dark mode apps, back swipe preview. Show a preview of the screen. You'll go back to when you start swiping from the edge of the screen. No, I don't need that. Okay. Side button motion and gestures. Lift to wake. Like that. Double tap to turn screen on. Double tap to turn screen off. Alert when phone is picked up. Mute with gestures. Palm swipe to capture. That's a screenshot. You just take the palm of your hand, move it from left to right. It takes a screenshot. Okay. One-handed mode, screenshots and screen recordings, video effects, video brightness, super HDR, game booster settings, Galaxy Avatar, dual messenger. Yeah, these things are all under advanced features. Digital well-being and parental controls. Okay, this is just going to monitor your phone's usage and what you're doing the most with your phone. If your kid is using your phone, then you could also use that to kind of monitor what they're doing. Device care, storage, memory, app protection. Okay, still says learning usage patterns. Like I said, this is the 512 gig variant, and so I've got 462.5 gigabytes available, way more than what I need. because everything that's on this device is what it is. I mean, it ain't gonna get no more robust than that. So, but you know, I guess it can't hurt just having plenty more storage just in case I need it. Yeah, apps, general management, accessibility. So we got recommended for you. We got vision enhancements, talkback, hearing enhancements, interaction with dexterity, advanced settings, installed apps, about accessibility, contact us. And so pretty much all the accessibility features that you would need in here for people that are hearing impaired, people that are vision impaired. You know, you're gonna be able to access whatever you need in order to be able to still use this device as a tool to, you know, communicate and navigate. All right. Software update, tips and user guide, and about phone. Okay. So real quick, let's that's all the settings, features, functions, all that type of stuff. Now I'm gonna just go ahead and pop into the camera here and tap the quick controls button to, oh, it just went off before I could read that. All right. So we got to the left, portrait, photo, video, and then more, expert, raw, pro video, night, food, panorama, slow motion, hyperlapse, portrait video, dual record, single take. Okay. Now let's go back to photo and let's see, shutter lag. Let's see. Boom. That's taking the photo as quickly as I tap the button. So yeah, there's yeah. Okay. This is just to the right of me, just my computer and notes and things that I had written down. You see the little "it" poster over there on the wall. Actually, here's the picture of Mike. Okay. There's Mike on the wall. It's actually a drawing. Pretty hard. Yeah. Camera seems solid, no shutter lag. Everything looks to be, you know, as far as quality and everything like that. I mean, you know, Samsung, I mean, they're, yeah, some of the creams of the crop in the camera departments. I mean, so 10 megapixel selfie camera here. Again, color tone, choose a color tone for your selfies, natural or warm. Warm just kind of gives it more of a yellowish hue to it. Natural is just more natural. So we'll choose natural. Let's see here. See what we got here. Oh, for whatever reason, the timer, I guess I had the timer on my S25 here. All right. So, okay. Yeah, let's sync your images and videos, not now. Okay, yeah, let's turn timer off. Okay, let me see here. Take another selfie real quick. Okay, there we go. No shutter lag or anything like that. Good looking photo. Color reproduction is on point as it ought to. I got the blinds open, letting the sun in, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so the shadows and everything are on point. It's already got a watermark, Galaxy Z Flip 7. I like that. Okay, cool. So camera seems on point as I figure it would be. And see landmarks and place names in additional to geolocations. Turn on show place names. Nope. Y'all don't even know where I is. All right. And so what is this? Okay, these are settings. This is the aspect ratio, timer, flash. What is this? Oh, motion photo on. Don't need that on. This is the exposure. Don't want to change the exposure right now. Okay, let's see. Here is the settings. Swipe shutter button to take burst shots. Watermark is on. Advanced picture options. We've got high efficiency pictures, pro mode picture format. That's JPEG format by default. Motion photo capture, before and after shutter. Before shutter only. Oh, it's on before and after shutter. All right. Save selfies as previewed. Auto FPS, record brighter videos in low light conditions by automatically optimizing the frame rate in video mode. Video stabilization, yes, you want that on. Advanced video options, HEVC, high efficiency, high bitrate videos, HDR, log, pro videos mode only, audio, 360 audio recording, that's a nice feature. Audio playback, allow music and other audio to play while you record. Playback will pause when using a 360 audio recording or a Bluetooth mic, okay? Let's see, now for general, fit to screen 3.4 ratio cover camera effects, composition guide, location tags, swipe preview up and down to switch cameras, shooting methods, voice commands, floating shutter button, show palm, okay? Settings to keep, I like this. Because when you find a setting that's perfect for you, rather than always having to toggle the setting every time you go into the camera app, you just set it one time, and every time you access the camera app, it'll always be set under that setting. And so all you have to do is just open up the camera app and just point and shoot. So I like that. Okay. I like that. But these are settings to keep: camera mode, selfie angle, high picture resolutions, filters, super steady, portrait zoom, exposure. Those are all the things that you can choose under settings to keep. All right. Let's see. Shutter sound, vibration feedback, permissions, reset settings, about camera, and contact us. Okay. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is your camera settings. And now real quick, I will close the device and get to this external display here. And you see the always on display there, which that is a very useful tool. That's one of the main things that I don't like about the iPhone 16e, is there's no always on display. Apple, they've got to get out of this thing of only having always on display on just the Pro models, because the standard versions of these phones are still $800. And I don't think there's any $800 Android device that you can buy right now without it always on display being just a standard feature. That's a standard feature on $200 or $300 Android devices. Heck, even $150, $200 Android devices always on display as a standard feature. But you can't get that feature standard on an iPhone that costs $600, $700, $800. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I'm hearing that always on display is going to be a feature across the board on the 17 lineup with the iPhones. We'll see in a couple months, you know what I'm saying, when those drop, if that's actually the actual factual. All right. Now, like I said, you see the wallpaper there, Mr. Myers, little blood spatter on the mask, and the knife right there, you know, same as it is on the Razr. And yeah. Okay, sweet. All right, I haven't really customized the external display too much. I'll play around with it a little more, but just did, you know, just the basic stuff. Here are the apps that, you know, that I selected. So you can go to Maps, and always in light theme, always in dark theme, man. Are you kidding me? You kidding me, Maps? Always in dark theme. Okay. But yeah, so, you know, again, just cool little things that you can do with that external display. YouTube. You know, yes. Now see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about here. You know? So just having the ability to do this on for any app, I mean, it does level the playing field a little bit. And I think that this display, the bezels on the external display, may even be a little bit thinner than I've got this cover display from the Clicks screen, the Clicks keyboard over the Razr, and it's kind of hard to take off. I don't feel like fighting with it. God, this thing just feels good. That Pantone and that material just, Man, yeah, that's a game changer. It really is. But yeah, I mean, swipe to the right, or yeah, to the right to get to your notifications. Okay. Swipe to the left to, you know, pan through the pages. And like I said, I'm going to customize this a little bit more. So before you know it, I'm going to have all my apps and just different things in different places. I'm going to have my Spotify and everything on here, just kind of similar to how it is on the Razr here. You see the Razr, you know, I got my Spotify there, got my communications, my contacts, apps, weather, games, you know what I'm saying? It's just a slew of games that come on this thing. Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that you can do on the external display on the Razr. But I do like what I'm seeing here with the Samsung. It feels just a little bit lighter than the Razr. You know, the Razr is kind of heavy. This Ultra it's got some, you know, it's got some heft to it. You know, I don't promote violence, but I mean, you know, if it ever came down to it and you needed to defend yourself and you didn't have nothing on you, you didn't have any kind of force multiplier of any kind to stop the threat, then you can split a wig with this Razr Ultra, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You might give somebody a nice little knot. You know, I ain't promoting no violence, but I'm just saying, man, the way this thing feels, oh yeah, man, yeah. They may have to go they may have to go get stitched up. You know what I'm saying? You'll split a wig with this Ultra, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, but yeah, no violence. I ain't trying to promote no violence, man. I'm just saying, you know, the Samsung's got a little heft to it too. So maybe you could do the same with the Samsung. I don't know, you know. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to conclude this particular unboxing for the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to expose yourself to tons of videos that I've done like this one. Keep it locked here at Pristine Mobile Tech. Make sure you get subscribed for all the future content that I've got coming. Hit that notifications bell so that every time I drop a video, you'll get notified. And when you get a chance, check out that content. Comment section is where I live. It's where I stay. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, hit me with any kind of feedback, ask me any kind of questions, what have you. I'll do my absolute best to answer the questions. That's where I'm chilling at all day, every day. All I ask is a simple ask, is that we just keep it kind, loving, and respectful in the comment section. I respect everybody's thought processes and opinion. I approach this thing with a very open mind. Just because I like something doesn't mean that you have to like it or what have you. I'm not going to feel some kind of way if you don't like what I like, and I hope that that's a mutual thing. You know what I mean? I just want to talk tech peacefully and help show you guys the actual factual with these devices. So if you decide to commit to them, then you've got all the information that you need moving forward. That's why I do this. All right. So as always, we are definitely living in the last days. If you don't believe me, if you are a believer, pull out the Holy Bible and pull up Revelations and read it. And you will find that a lot of things that is stated and written in Revelations are things that are actually happening in the world right now. I'm not saying that to terrify you, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So don't be overcome by fear, because fear is of Satan. Okay? We serve a God that conquered this world, who died for us and atoned for every single sin imaginable that we can commit. And there's nothing that we can do to earn his love, grace, and mercy any more or less. It just is what it is. The debt's already been paid. Now, that doesn't mean take his love, grace, and mercy for granted. That doesn't mean do wrong when you know right. Because when you know better, you do better. Okay? But that said, if you haven't already gotten your life right with Christ, now's the time to do it. Don't wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised. Never push off until tomorrow what you can do today. Okay? If death were to creep around some unsuspecting corner right now, where's your soul going to lie for eternity? If you don't know the answer to that, you need to get right with Christ. You need to get spiritually fit. Okay? I hope that this isn't offensive. If it is, I'm sorry. I choose to use my platform as a form of witnessing about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he's the very reason why I sit in the position that I sit in today. And if you knew my story, if you knew my journey, if you knew what I've come through in life, the trials, the storms that I've been through, then you'd be convinced that there is a God in the heavens, that there is a true creator, because there's no way possible that I could be where I am today, doing as well as I'm doing, if there wasn't a God. And I'm not saying that to brag, boast. I'm just excited to tell you about how far the Lord has brought me and where he's still taking me through. Because my life ain't perfect. I'm going through all kind of storms and things right now. Hence the reason why I ain't been uploading. But God is good all the time, and all the time he's good. And God is still God no matter what. So I say all that to say, friends, ladies, gentlemen, get spiritually fit. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. And keep it locked, because I'm going to have a comparison video of the Flip 7 here and the Razr Ultra 2025. Full pristine review coming for the Flip 7. Full pristine review coming for the my iPhone 16e here. Unboxing video coming for the Z Fold 7 here. And I might even do a review on my Galaxy Watch 8 Classic here. You know what I'm saying? I'm also wanting to expand my horizons and start, reviewing other devices besides just phones. But I just love talking about phones so much. You know what I'm saying? But I want to expand my horizons a little bit. So you may find me talking about some different things, some watches, some buds, maybe some tablets or just other tech. Who knows? We'll see. You know what I'm saying? But what you need to do is keep it locked to pristine tech. All right. Love y'all. Thanks and appreciate you guys for rocking with me for as long as you have. Like I said, new subscribers, welcome. If you made it this far in the video, man, you are a soldier. I salute you, because I was rambling, but I can't wait to do it again. Y'all take care. Be easy. God bless. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.